alone. We are on this New York Fights AI Data Centers tour because it is clear across the state we are saying the same things. And I know because of our organizing, we will not only win signing the bill, but I hope we win right here in Orangeburg. So are you ready to win? Yeah! Are you ready to fight? Yeah! Are you ready to show the rest of the state what Rockland and Orangeburg is made of? Yeah! I thank you all so much for being here, and can we give another big round of applause for Food and Water Watch? Yeah! And our local organizers, and David, and our youth organizers, because I am so inspired by all of you. Thank you all so much for being here.
All right, in about 15 minutes, we're all going to go inside and make some public comments to get the Orangetown Town Board to put a moratorium on DataBank and not exclude their application from their moratorium that they will be voting on. But before then, I'm going to introduce Eric to give us some next steps. If you want to keep fighting back against these data centers at the statewide level and join communities across the state fighting these data centers, we have some action steps for you.
Good evening, folks. Again, my name is Eric Weltman, and I'm a senior organizer with Food and Water Watch. As we've just heard, there is much more that Governor Hochul can and must do to protect our communities from an onslaught of costly and dangerous data centers, and there's much more that we can do and will do to prod her to sign the Responsible Data Center Development Act. So I have five next steps. My aim is to cover those 5 next steps in 3 minutes. So you can clock me if you want. All right, the first thing is, please, if you have a cell phone, take it out and take down this number. It's a hotline to Hochul's office. 866-794-6052. It's on the half-page sheets I've been handing around. 866-794-6052. And my ask is you call her early and often. Early and often. Raise your hand if you're going to call Governor Hochul early and often. Raise your hand if you're going to call her until she signs this bill into law. Awesome. Next action step is to sign and share our online petition. Sign and share our online petition. The bit.ly link is on the half-page flyer. Raise your hand if you're going to sign and share the online petition with at least 5 people. With at least 5 people. All right. Third action step, sign up for our statewide activist meeting. We're having a Zoom meeting on October 7th at 7 p.m. to discuss next steps to get the bill signed into law. If you're interested and available, there is a QR code that you can access on the half-page sheet to sign up for our October 7th meeting. Who's going to be there on October 7th? Yeah! I think the fourth action step is to collect paper petitions in your community. Now you can sign up to do so with the QR code, and or you can take some of the petitions that have been going around. So if you want to collect petitions in your own backyard, in your own neighborhood, at the farmer's market, the supermarket, in your workplace, in your neighborhood, please sign up on the QR code and or grab some of the paper petitions going around. Fifth and finally is join our statewide lobbying team. We have a lobbying team led by one of our extraordinary volunteer leaders, John Pope, that meets every Thursday at 7 o'clock to discuss next steps to get this bill signed into law. If you're interested or available, no obligation to attend every Thursday, obviously, but you can sign up using the QR code on the half-page sheet. All right, did I cover 5 next steps in under 3 minutes?
Repeat the phone number of
I'll
point
read
one.
the phone number one last time. And again, it is on the half-page sheet that's been going around. 866-794-6052. Again, that's 866-794-6052. Woo! Let's do this!
All right. Yeah, next we're going to take questions from the press.
Does any, like I think you said, that you don't know where the water's going into the lake, is it going to go into the lake? Have they said how much water's coming out of the ground?
The question is about water going into the lake and if the data center is going to put water into the lake or take water As far as we know, it's going to be a closed loop system, but that doesn't mean that water won't be extra, runoff. Yeah, it doesn't mean that water won't get into the lake, especially polluted water. Runoff systems often have more chemicals that they have to use to keep the water inside data centers clean.
Have they said where the water is going?
Well, I think David could.
Okay, so I don't need that. So the question about water, they have publicly stated, and I believe their paperwork suggests that they are not putting the water back directly into Lake Tapan, although Lake Tapan is immediately next to the facility. It goes into the sewer system, I believe. I couldn't tell you more than that, honestly.
Have they said how much water is coming out of the ground or out of the system?
They say that the amount of water that this facility is using is relatively modest. That's what they say. But I will say the big issue with this facility, from what we understand, is the amount of power. Because they've described, I'm not an expert here, a closed loop system which uses less water, but the impact of that means you need to have more HVAC in order to cool down the water that's in the pipes in this closed loop system. So that's the trade-off of not using so much water, use more electricity.
Food and Water Watch also just published a report on the downfalls of closed loop systems and how they leak. We can send that along to anyone who's interested.
There's a question there.
Dave, if they're not looking to use a lot of water to run this facility, why are they putting it next to Lake Tapan?
It's a good question. I don't know why they specifically selected this site, other than there is clearly the town of Orangetown has clearly said as a focus of their comprehensive plan that they hope to attract more data centers. That at least was their plan. You can read on the orangetown.com the comprehensive plan, which was, I believe, adopted in 2023, talked about their desire to attract more data centers. So there are major data centers here. JP Morgan just is expanding a data center here. There was a big report about 2 months ago where, as you read in the yesterday's article about reInvent Albany, that facility got $77 million for the promise of one additional job.
This is not the only one that's near Lake.
Right.
There's more than one that's near Lake.
The increase in the cost to all the consumers, like that reInvent Albany thing, 19 times the price, I can't even believe that. 19 times the price per kilowatt? That's not believable. And the increase, anything that they put onto the grid in addition to make the data center work on the grid, everybody pays for it.
So the question was about energy costs and how that gets passed down. So right now, when large or hyperscale data centers are put onto the grid, their costs are associated amongst the same consumer class. What the bill does is create a separate consumer class for large energy facilities, so those costs aren't passed down to us. That's the same principle for water, which is why these companies are fighting so hard to make sure this bill doesn't get signed, because they benefit from us subsidizing them. You brought up another really good point. There is a 19 times difference, but I think the exact statistic I had seen is that many of these hyperscale data centers are paying about $12 per megawatt hour, but the average New Yorker is paying $244 per megawatt hour. So in every way we are subsidizing. And then finally, we talked about data banks getting $63 million, but in totality, Rockland County is looking at giving away $320 million of their tax dollars. So right now, big tech has literally rigged this system to benefit and not only profit from these large AI models, but to profit from our infrastructure and our bills.
Let me just add one other point, which is that the other point I wanted to add, which isn't so apparent, is the tax that we all pay as ratepayers, because our rates go up as demand goes up. It's pure economics. This is done through a system where, when there's more demand, prices go up, means we all pay more for our electric. So that is a tax that gets added, if you will, by paying higher electric bills, aside from the fact that the data centers get these discounts. The other point that I should add, there was a recent article several months ago, an industry article, that said that Orange and Rockland, which is the current rate, the company that provides electricity for this local area, basically invested $24 million in building out the Corporate Drive substation. The Corporate Drive substation is where the facility that we're talking about is located. In that article, it said they invested. When they say they invested, who is they?
Us.
We don't know. We've asked to what degree, for example, is DataBank paid or even anything towards that $24 million. We have not gotten any clear answers. That's $24 million in additional tax if they didn't pay for any of that. Big old billionaire tech bros are tech bros.
All right, I think that's it. Thank you so much.